Sizavalana amehlo sikhuleke. Baba uNkulunkulu nomusa yiso inkosi yethu Jesu Kristu waseNazaretha baba namanje siyathandaza moya engcwele baba. Iba nathi inkosi kulesikhathi baba kuzohlangana inkosi kubhungwe ngokuningi baba. Makube ngwene ukusikhusela njalo inkosi konke kuyophuma lapha baba bese kungena enhlizweni zethu nasendlebeni zethu baba. Bese kuba umphumela omuhle inkosi. Simema wena baba namanje inkosi kuzo zonke inkosi izinto baba esizozizwa baba bese sizibuza baba ngendlela efanele kube ngwena baba yokusigayida inkosi usiholele kuzo zonke baba izinto kuzo kube ngwena baba namanje yokwenza umsebenzi inkosi kuwe phakade amen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for the prayer. We appreciate that. I think it's important that we start this meeting in the correct and right way. My name is David van Veen of the Portfolio Committee on Infrastructure, Roads and Transport, and I would like to welcome the community of Thabo Mafutsanyana and all the stakeholders from this area to this meeting. This is where we're going to discuss the Marine Pollution Bill. It's the Bill B10 of 2022. And this is where you've got your opportunity, a constitutional right to actually give inputs towards these bills that does influence provinces. It's strange to say that because we haven't got an ocean, and I know there's a lot of people that haven't even seen the ocean. So it is strange, but according to our constitution, we need to get inputs from the community, and this is your opportunity. It's not our opportunity as members to talk. We're here to listen to you. But saying that, I would just like to also welcome Councillor Jacobs. Councillor, thank you for being here, and you're more than welcome. And then also I would like to give, we've got some apologies from some of the members of the committee, Honourable Foko, Honourable Dungani, Honourable Klute and Sikwebela. And then I would like to give an opportunity from that side to ask the members and also the staff members just to introduce themselves. There's a mic here.
Dumelang, nna ke Oupa Kgwabane, ke setho sa komiti e teletsweng pele ke Ntate Van Vuren. Ke a leboha.
Dumelang setjhaba sa Dihlabeng, nna ka lebitso ke Mme Amelia Chabalala, setho sa yona komiti ena. Ke a leboha.
Dumelang bo mme le bontate, nna ke Jafta Mokoena, ke setho sa komiti ena.
Khotso, lebitso ke Thabo Meko, ke karolo ya komiti ena ya parlamente jwale ka setho sa parlamente ka hare ho province ya Vrystaat. Ke a leboha.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm David Mackay, a member of the Free State Legislature and of the committee.
Dumelang bo mme le bontate, ke Nthabiseng Kgarekwe, ke setho sa komiti ebilaneng ke member ya legislature. Ke a leboha.
Dumelang bagolo, ke Portia Kuno, ke committee coordinator ya komiti ena. Ke a leboha.
Thank you, Portia. And yeah, we are currently just waiting for the presenter. It's Mr. Ntuli from the National Department of Transport. But let me also just take the opportunity to thank all our staff members. It does take a lot of effort to arrange something like this, and if you will bear with us for another 5 minutes, I'm sure he will be here. I think he's just driving through town to get here, and I'm just going to give over to the translators again so that you can just get up to speed on what's happening. Thank you.
Ke a leboha, Honourable Chair. Modulasetulo na hlalosa hore ke matsapa a maholo basebeletsi ba lekgotla la ketsamolao ho etsa mosebetsi ona, mme ka hona wa ananela. Ntlha engwe hape e modulasetulong a ne ya hlalosa ke ya hore ho emetswe fela motho a tlo re tshetlehelang puo mabapi le bili ena, mme tla re hang fela ha sa fihlile be re tswella pele ka mosebetsi re beile pelo sekotlolong. Mosebetsi ona o tlo tswella pele.
Maybe we should also talk about the arrangements. We're going to give the presenter the opportunity to present the bill. When we finish with that, we'll go over to the community and we'll start by the one block where you put up your hand and we'll give you an opportunity and you can come and stand here at the podium. You will have 2 minutes to state your case, and if you support or if you've got any inputs, we will record that also, and then we'll go to the other side. And then after that, we'll record all of that info, and then we'll give over for inputs from the members. And then I think we're finished. You'll have something to eat, and I'm sure there's water also available for you here.
Ke a leboha modulasetulo. Modulasetulo o hlalosa hore e tla re hang ha motho a fanang ka puo mabapi le bili a sa qetile ho bua. Setjhaba se teng kwano le tla fuwa monyetla wa lona ka bolona le fane ka diphehiso tsa lona. Mme motho mang kapa mang ya batlang ho bua o tla tlameha ho tloha setulong a tle monna sefalaneng. Ha o fihla sefalaneng mo o itsebise hore na o mang, o tla fuwa metsotso e ka bang 2 ho ya ho ye 3 hore o bue diphehiso tseo batlang ho fana ka tsona. Mme ha setjhaba se qetile ho fana ka diphehiso, ho tla fuwa ditho tse hlomphehang tsa lekgotla la ketsamelao tsena tse dutseng ka pela rona monyetla wa hore le bona ba tshwaele ba hlahise maikutlo a bona, mme ka morao ho mono tsohle di tla be di kopangwa e ba ntho e le nngwe e tlang ho tswela pele ha re fihla lekgotleng la ketsamelao. Ha tsohle se di fedile se re qetile modulasetulo a kwetse mosebetsi, ho tlo ba le dijo, le tlo phomosetswa, le tla be le fumantshwa dijo e be le go jwale kopano ya rona e fedile. Mme ha jwale ho emetswe fela motho a tlo fanang ka presentation hang ha fihla le tla be le kgona ho
Thank you, Chairperson, and thank you, honorable members. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Buselezo Ramoteba. As the chair indicated, I am the legal advisor to this committee. I'm going to be assisting with the presentation on the Marine Oil Pollution Preparedness Response and Cooperation Bill. The summary of the bill is as follows. The bill provides for the processes to regulate, manage the preparedness and response to major marine oil pollution incidents at national level, as well as cooperation with other countries as necessary and appropriate. The cooperation covers for the development of contingency plans, research, training, and exercise programs. South Africa is located along the busiest sea shipping route straddling the Indian Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Southern Sea stretching to the Antarctic region. More than 12,000 vessels of varied sizes carrying different types of cargoes passing through our coast on an annual basis. South Africa is exposed to all types of risks associated with maritime traffic, including the possible pollution from ships and grounding of ships, for example. South Africa, as party to the OPRC Convention, like all other state parties, has undertaken individually or jointly to take all appropriate measures to prepare for and respond to marine pollution incidents. The OPRC Convention encourages the state parties to cooperate in the following areas of spill preparedness, and these are the development of contingency plans, equipment stocks, research and development initiatives, training and exercise programs, and appropriation spill notification procedures for shipping. Currently, South Africa does not have systems and mechanisms in place to prepare and plan for the rapid response to incidents as they occur. The decision to exceed the oil pollution preparedness and response was informed by the need to adopt international standards and good practices in the marine pollution incident preparedness and response. The department has not domesticated the treaty into national law as required by Section 231, subsection 4 of the Constitution. The absence of legislation poses a great risk in the event that there is a major oil pollution incident along the South African coast. The bill adopts international standards and good practices in marine pollution incident preparedness and response. The CMTP provides for the establishment of institutional arrangements for the effective system of marine environment preparedness, response, and cooperation. The objects of the bill: to incorporate into law of South Africa the relevant provisions of the International Convention relating to marine pollution preparedness, response, and cooperation, and to reduce and control the pollution of marine environment by oil from ships, offshore installations, seaports, and oil handling facilities. Furthermore, to provide for the safe, effective, and efficient management and deployment of resources in response to, cooperation in, and of spills of oil or any other pollutant from ships or any other source within South African waters or which pollute or threaten to pollute South African waters, aquatic resources, coastline, or related interests. To provide for the effective cooperation with neighboring countries in matters pertaining to marine pollution preparedness, response, and control. The schedule of the bill contains the proposal to amend the South African Maritime Safety Authority Act 1998 to provide in Section 38 of the Act by renaming of the Marine Pollution Preparedness and Response Fund. The fund will be resourced from the levies imposed on seaports and oil handling facilities and offshore installations, and as well as penalties, fines, or forfeiture for contravening that act. Money in the fund will only be for the purpose of furthering the objectives of prevention, preparedness, response, and combating pollution of the maritime, marine environment by ships, seaports, and oil handling facilities and offshore installations. Empowerment of SAMSA with the following: preparedness and response functions, surveillance, monitoring, and response assets. Thank you, Ke a leboha. Thank you, Chairperson. I hope it was quite clear. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miramatema. I appreciate that, and I think we should also continue. Let me please remind you that we are only dealing with the bill. So if you put your hand up and you want to address us, please don't address us on local service delivery matters, because I'm going to stop you then. This forum is just to address the bill and get your inputs, and you can here express your right to actually participate in approving these bills. Then let me start on the left-hand side. Is there anybody that wants to address the committee on the bill? You can just put up your hand. I understand why, because it is difficult to address something that we don't know of, that we don't see. So then let me go to the other side. Anybody on the right-hand side? Councillor, you are more than welcome. Can you come and stand here, please? Yes.
Inside here. So I will request maybe one of you can just summarize in our own language. I do understand, but if, let's say, it can be summarized in our own language so that everyone can understand, because even in your parliament, there are interpreters. So for now, just an interpreter, but I don't need somebody who will start from where she started. But just to summarize, just a summary of the bill is about this and that and that and that and that. And then because even the people who are going to participate, they are also allowed to can speak in their own language. Hence, I'm saying if we can just interpret for our members. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, let me maybe just for your information's sake, they've got all translations systems on. So, and they've got in Sesotho, I think they've got the revised, the shortened version of the Act. If there's anybody that didn't understand through the translation, you can put up your hand and we can quickly go through that again in Sesotho. But I'm sure that we did address that and everybody got their devices at the back. Yes. No, yeah, we did address that. Okay, yeah, let me then, just before we start, or not start, I think there's nobody that put up their hand, but let me give an opportunity for Mr. Ntule, although he's a bit late. Welcome, Mr. Ntule. Maybe you can, we've gone through the presentation, you can maybe in a just shortened version, maybe give us some bullet points on what to focus on, what the main aim of this bill is. I did express the fact that we haven't got an ocean and it's a bit difficult in the Free State for us in the center of South Africa to address these bills. But it is important, and it's a constitutional right for people to take part in this. So let me give you an opportunity to address the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson, and my sincere apologies for arriving at this time. In actual fact, I ended up being a tourist of the Free State, so I went a little further down there. But now we are here. Thank you. Yes, yeah. So the location of Free State is very important for the ocean economy because we are very central. All goods coming on most of the corners of the country pass through here. So the role that we are playing in facilitating the movement of goods into the ports enables the economy to run. Your distance from the oceans does not belittle your contribution and your ownership of the oceans, because in interpreter, because it's Zulu. I'm sorry, I only speak isiZulu. So yeah, but you've got translation. Niaz, what got translate? Oh, there is translation. It's perfect. Yeah. Okay. So what I was explaining was that your location away from the ocean does not belittle your contribution into South Africa's maritime economy. In various ways, you are able to participate in the ocean economy. Some of people from the Free State work in ports, they work in some South African Maritime Safety Authority, but also your training in universities prepare you to also partake in the ocean economy. So the oceans, as they surround the coast of the Republic of South Africa, belong to you as well. As active citizens participating in the economy, but also as tourists, but also as future workers in the ocean economy. That's why this bill would as well impact on you, because in one way or the other, you have to participate in the ocean economy. And that's why the legislature has brought this bill here. But also it's part of the province obtaining its own mandate, because all provinces would have to participate in deciding whether this bill must be passed or not. Now, the main purpose of the bill really is to fulfill an important pillar in ensuring that South Africa has an effective pollution prevention strategy. We already have laws and programs that prohibit and prevent any pollution of the oceans, of the marine environment. But the only instrument that we were waiting to bring into place, which is this bill, is for preparedness and response. In that, in the event that the prevention has failed, there are programs and there is a plan for all the role players in the maritime sector to prepare and respond to an incident. So this then prepares the organization called the South African Maritime Safety Authority, which would be entrusted with the implementation of what is in the bill. So there are 4 areas that you need to concentrate on. The first one is that the bill says, before you can have any plan, you need to assess, you need to conduct what is called the risk assessment. Like in all situations, if you have to go to a campaign or a war, you have to understand this extent and the nature of the problem that we are dealing with. So all handlers of oil product, because this relates to how we must respond to oil pollution of the oceans. So any role player, be it a company, a ship, can be a company handling oil that interacts with the marine environment, is required to conduct the risk assessment. Secondly, once the risk assessment is conducted, then there must be what is called the contingency plan, the National Oil Spill Contingency Plan, which SAMSA, the South African Maritime Safety Authority, would draft. Once that's drafted, all the ports, the oil companies, the ship owners, they must then conduct their own oil pollution contingency plan. Now they understand the problem, they undertook the risk, now they have to prepare a plan. So once the plan is prepared, the plan would indicate what kind of responses need to be given. And that then requires that they must have equipment to respond. Because with the oil, once it has spilled on the ocean, it moves very fast. So it can then impact the whole coastal area. And how are you affected? Here in the Free State, I know you love fish. If there is oil pollution out there, then you will then see that there will be a shortage of fish in the Free State. Imagine you don't have fish on your plate. So there will be a shortage of fish. There will be an impact also in terms of the other marine living resources on the ocean. Like here on land, the oceans they also have their own population, but their population is made up of seabirds and other mammals that survive on the oceans. So if there is oil out there, then there would be the penguins, they would then be oiled, and it affects their continued existence, because there are people who come to the country to see and experience what marine life do we have in South Africa. So the oil spill then impacts on that. Also, you all, when you have holidays, you go down to the coast, you go to the beaches. If there is oil, you can't swim. So there is equipment then that is used to control the spread of the oil once it has spilled out there. So they must then have equipment. Then fourthly, it does happen that because the oceans connect the whole world, oil may spill over to neighboring countries. So our most immediate neighbors on the western seaboard is Namibia, Angola, and up north. But also on the eastern seaboard, that's the Indian Ocean, the warmer ocean, the countries there is with Mozambique, they may be impacted. So we have then also provided that there must be a mechanism for cooperation between South Africa and other countries. But sometimes it does happen that the spill comes from them, and then we have to then have a mechanism of cooperating to ensure that all of us prepare to respond. Now, the two things that I need to cover as well is that those NGOs or companies that have to respond, because they spend their money to respond, the fund that the bill creates by amending the SAMSA Act to have a fund dedicated to oil pollution preparedness and response, that fund would then be used to refund those that have responded. In terms of the damage then on the marine environment and the economy of a coastal town or province, South Africa is a member of an international insurance, which is called the International Oil Pollution Compensation Fund, which then ensure that there is compensation for the damage that would have been caused. So ships must then, they contribute, or the oil companies contribute into that fund, and then we're able to be reimbursed for the expenses that we have incurred and the damage that would have been caused. So basically, that's the main purpose of the bill, which I think my sister had covered. Our participation here is to assist the provincial legislature in the work that they're doing to obtain their mandate. I thank you, Chairperson, for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ntule. I think let's start the process over and give the opportunity again to people. Councillor, you can come here, please. We want to record it.
Okay, thank you, Chairperson. In fact, my name is Sophia Jacobs. I'm the MMC Common Services here at Dihlabeng. I'm from the Office of the Executive Mayor. In fact, according to the explanation, of course, and also the summary or the expansion that you have made, it's very important because although we are far from the ocean, but it's very important. Before I can elaborate on this, let me just add by saying, let this bill, let there be the addition, because we've got the dams where you'll find that sometimes they are polluted. We've got the rivers that gives us water that can also be polluted. So as time goes on, please add that even if it covers the oceans, but we've got water everywhere that is used by the community, and the water that is useful to those animals or whatever is there in the ocean. You will interpret, let me just give you a to in fact, bill is very important in 20 years. Of course, libuile hore, if let's say there can be a spillage of oil, any pollution near oily in the ocean, we will be hungry because there are so many, like that to explain, not only the ocean basket, there are so many species from the ocean. But at the same time, even those animals, they've got the right to live. We cannot just pollute the water because Rerefela Rona will go hungry. But let's honor the right because there will be so many animals that will die if let's say the water will be polluted. Of course, but also we look to those animals. Like we've got the right to repeal, but they also deny the right to appeal. Now, we do agree there must be the legislation, of course. If they have to transport the oil more in the ocean, a thorough checkup must be done before it is allowed to go into the ocean. Transport the oil. And if, like a taxi, a carrier, so even with that, I'll just say that, really, to be honest, how the companies set to transport, because so it's very important to hurry. Because we know that oil takes a long time before it can be cleaned from the water. Before it cleanua, and like nature, the economy of the country, if there are some of the things we can also lose the tourists from other countries be leng hore ba ya tla ba re tjhakela mona bo South Africa wa bona. So that's my addition. So keep it up with the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jacobs. Okay, let me start on this side again. If you will put up your hand, if there's anybody that would like to give a submission on this matter, on the bill. On the other side, anybody that side? So you can come forward. Thank you. Let me also just recognize Councillor Nhlapo and also one of our members that I think Honorable Segwebela, there on the far side. Thank you for being here, and yeah, you're also welcome. Thank you. Just introduce yourself, and then you're more than welcome to speak.
Dumelang, ka lebitso ke Enoch Zulu, ke moahi wa mona Dihlabeng. Ke leboha haholo ka monyetla ona ke o fumanang hore ke tle ke phehise hodima ntlha ena ya ke tle ke phehise ntlheng ena ya mawatle a rona e re fumanang hore a tsietsing haholo. Diphoofolo tsa rona di a shwa mawatleng, dinonyana di a shwa mawatleng, le rona ka kakaretso re fumana hore se re kgobokane nqa e le nngwe bakeng sa ho lo sesa. Mme ne ke kopa hore molaotheong ona o ntseng o thewa ho ko shebisiswe hantle hore na ana ebe ke dife di-company tseno tseng e leng hore di tlisa bothata bo bokanana ka hare ho naha ya rona. Mme molao o tlang ho thewa kapa o tlang ho kenywa tshebetsong ebe molao o matla, hobane re shebe hape hore na ana re le rona naha ya South Africa re fumana molemo hakakang re le setjhaba fatshe. Hape re relelwa hape hona ha se mawatleng fela mo re fumanang hore ho na le spillage sa oli. Hona matsatsinyana re hlokomele hore na ditseleng ho na le dikotsi tse re fumanang hore di a etsahala. Ho na le dikoloi tse leng hore di qhala di oli ditseleng, ho na le dikotsi tse etsahalang ka lebaka la dipula ha di nele, ho na le oli ditseleng. Re tlameha re di shebe hape le ntlheng hape ya matamong a rona ka kakaretso. Hona mona one ke tswa mona na mona Bethlehem. Ho na le di-company tse leng hore di kgolo, mme bosafa ba di-oli tsa tsona di wela matamong a rona, mme diphoofolo tsa rona di fumana hore di hula ka thata, di a shwa letsatsi le leng le le leng. So ne re kopa hore ka nnete molao wa bo ba ikarabellang ho di-oli ba ke ba tiise letsoho haholo, mme ba etse molao o le hore o tla re sireletsa, hobane ka nnete ruri rona le diphoofolo tsa rona re tsietsing haholo ka lebaka la tsholoho e ngata e etsahalang ka hare ho mawatle a rona. Ke a leboha.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody on that side that wants to address the committee? If not, Mr. Ntuli, would you like to maybe just respond on some of the inputs? Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Honourable Councillor, for the comment and the invitation for the department to look into what can be done to improve the local waters, the rivers. Yes, indeed, we are constrained because this bill aims to incorporate an international convention on pollution preparedness and response. So, which limits its scope just on the oceans and as well as on oil as a product. But we are taking the message back to say on inland waters, we know that our sister department of fisheries and environment, they are doing a good work in terms of preventing the pollution of inland waters, but through a mechanism of cooperation, which could in actual fact be tailored along the lines of this bill. It can enhance the existing efforts to ensure that we have even effective prevention measures. The other comment relating to Makeba, although Makeba was speaking the local language, which is, I think, is very important because it just shows how far we can go to making sure that the understanding of what can go bad on the oceans requires that level of attention. One thing that I need to share here is that South Africa adopts a zero tolerance on oil pollution of the marine environment. And South Africa is also regarded as the ship arrest capital of the world, because for all the polluters, for oil polluters, we don't only concentrate on the ship. If in the event that the ship has spilled and left the shores of the Republic, and we find that the ship was responsible for the spill, any sister ship to that ship gets arrested. And there are very huge penalty measures. I must as well indicate that in this bill, we have upped the level of fines that we can impose. I think it's about up to 25 million rands that can be imposed on any incident that has polluted the marine environment. So we really are adopting a zero tolerance on oil spill. Now, it is also true that we are not only looking at the ships, but there are companies that operate along the coast. And many of the problems that the oceans face, you can find that the source is land. It can be plastic, it can be all other, sewerage. Our municipalities are not doing well. Some municipalities that are closer to the oceans, they expose the Republic on that. But also, talking about the rivers, Councillor is correct. Many of our rivers, they end up onto the ocean. They offload onto the ocean. So you may be far distant from the ocean, but it does, whatever action that you do on the rivers here, it ends up on the ocean and the oceans get impacted. So basically, I think those were the issues that were covered, Honorable Chair, out and here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ntule. If there's anybody that didn't want to come and speak here, but they do want to give in a submission, you are more than welcome to do it in writing. And you've got till the 1st of April 2025 to submit this. And you can send it to the following email address. It's portia@fsl.gov.za. So it's Portia, Portiaak, @fsl.gov.za. So you're more than welcome to do that. I know Mayor Ramoteba also said she's got some written submissions. We will include all of those together with these submissions made today in our report. Are there anybody else that is maybe got the confidence to do a submission now? This is your last opportunity. Yes, a gentleman.
The Speaker of Bethlehem, Honorable Councillor Mofokeng is here. I'm too
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Mr. Ntuli, and the honorable attendances and everyone who's here. I go by the name of Mdingwane Filmon from Eastern Free State, Kwakwa. First of all, let me say I do agree with this bill, let this bill pass. Council, I just want to say to you, okay, ma'am. You just outlined one of the important issues, because if we check a water cycle, we have something called precipitation, which is the water that comes from the sky, and we have something called surface runoff. And if you check our rivers, they are the source of water. Every water that you see in the oceans comes from these sources and the streams. So as a farmer here, I'm saying we as farmers and as the province of Free State, we have multiple numbers of farmers who are using mechanization. And that mechanization is part of things that causes this oil pollution, because this surface runoffs takes this oil and take it to the streams, and it ends up being at the oceans. And when we check this thing, Council, in the ocean we have life because we have animals that lives in there. Like you said, we feed from those animals. You just mentioned one of the stores that sell those seafoods. And it's also dangerous for us because in order for evaporation or precipitation to take place, it's going to be very difficult because the layer of the oil will be at the top of the water. So that cycle will be very difficult for us to have enough oxygen to breathe. So I believe this bill should pass, and I believe that the fines should be very, 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 very high so that we can take care of the environment. Because we are not only damaging the oceans, we are also damaging the soil. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And I mean, it was very clear that you support the bill, and it is important to support this. I don't know if you want to respond. I think he actually just highlighted what you said. Honorable Speaker Mafokeng, welcome. Yeah, it's the Dihlabeng Speaker. Thank you for being here. Unfortunately, we're almost at the end of this meeting. I know there's a taxi that also got in now. Unfortunately, you sort of missed the presentation, but there is a presentation in a written format that I think that was provided to you. Is there anybody perhaps from your side that wants to address this bill or submits a submission? I think there's a gentleman. You can come forward, just introduce yourself, and you're more than welcome to speak. Just keep to the bill and not anything else. Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Moloi Makwatile. I agree with the bill. So my only question is that how do we respond to the spillages in the villages? Like we have Fikapato Dam, we have Metimato Dam. During the storm water, all the spillages come from the village and they go straight to the oceans. So, rona rele setjhaba re kopa hore bili ha e ka re thusa ka di programme tse le hore ha re batla ho responda to the spillages tse kenang dinokeng, because sometimes re bona ka dinokeng ho kena di sewage, ho kena di oil, ho kena ntho tse ngata ka moo. So 2% ya waste and pollution it's wa ka hare ho Free State, because during the storm water all the ditshila kaofela tse tswang ka hare ho motse tse sa cleanweng, environment tse sa cleanweng ke tsona tse yang dinokeng. So ke dumelana le bili haholo hore ho tlamehile ho be le di programme tse ka fundiwang for setjhaba hore if hona le batho ba sebetsang ho cleaner, hona le batho ba sebetsang ho etsa di recycling, ho ka ba better hore ditshila tseo se ke tsa tswela dinokeng. So ke leboha haholo.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we take note of that. I think Mr. Ntuli also alluded to the fact that that's a different department. It's forestries and fisheries, but we take note of that. We'll make a note of that, and I think he'll also take it back. And we as members will also make a note of that so that we are actually addressing that. And it's also a huge concern, I'm sure, to the municipality also. But thank you for your inputs. I think If we can, I would like you to ask the community that if you are in favor of this bill, if you would raise your hand, and so that we can just record the meeting and the people that's in this meeting in favor of this. After that, I'll allow the people that's not in favor of the bill to raise their hand. But can I then ask everybody that's in favor of the bill to just raise your hand so that we can record it? It's now your time. High up, please. Thank you. Just keep it up for another 10 seconds. Okay, thank you very much. And then if there's anybody opposing this bill, if you can just raise your hand, please. I'm sure there will not be anybody. Thank you so much. Let me thank the community of Thabo Mafutsanyana and all the stakeholders here. I think tonight or in the week, if you eat your hake or snoek, you must remember that you contributed in having fresh fish in the center of South Africa, in the Free State, and you can enjoy it then and know that you played your part in this. Let me please thank all the members that drove from everywhere to be here today. Thank you for your time. I appreciate that, and especially to all the staff members that made it available. Mayor Ramoteba, again, thank you to you. You stepped up to the plate, and I appreciate that. And then I think this meeting, just hold on. Oh, yeah, very important. Your translation device, please don't walk out with it. It's very expensive. When you leave, just leave it there at the back. We'll appreciate that if you can perhaps just, yeah. Just again, last input. Written submissions, if you want to give in a written submission, the closing date is the 1st of April 2025. Okay. Thank you very much, and we are adjourned. This meeting is closed. Thank you.